What's up, Pirate Nation? I'm your host, David Heim, and welcome to a brand new episode of Hall Talk. We have a great show for you tonight. Basketball season is back in South Orange, both on the men's and women's side. We're going to break their opening weekend down for you, including the upcoming Charleston Classic that the men are currently partaking in. I'll be joined alongside my panel for this evening, so don't go away. This is Hall Talk.
This team needs to show me something for me to believe that they're going to make a run in the tournament.
I think they can have a chance of going over 35 wins without a problem.
Just stepping up from the 4 points to the 17. She's just dropping threes like there's no tomorrow.
But chemistry is an underrated key in college basketball.
That was by far the best game I've seen them play.
This is Hall Talk, and that's how the chalk talks.
Welcome back to Hall Talk. The men's basketball team opened up their 2015-16 campaign going, as expected, 2-0 with an 84-67 win over Dartmouth last Friday, following up with a 69-59 win over Wagner 2 days later. The Pirates have been led by their sophomores from last year's recruiting class, particularly point guard Isaiah Whitehead, who logged 18 points and 8 assists on opening night and tallied another 18 points in the win over Wagner. The Pirates have also gotten solid production from guard Desi Rodriguez and forward Angel Delgado. The men are currently down in Charleston, South Carolina, partaking in the Gildan-Charleston Classic. On the women's side, they too opened up their season 2-0 with a whopping 93-57 win over Bryant and a 77-49 revenge win over Rutgers, who just so happened to be the team that ended the Pirates season last year in the NCAA tournament. It was a special night in Walsh Gym as Tony Bozzella and company unveiled 2 celebratory banners highlighting the team's regular season Big East Championship and its aforementioned NCAA tournament bid. The Pirates will travel to Philly this weekend to take on St. Joseph's. And at this time, I'll introduce my panel for this evening, Louis Olvera and Bryant McInerney. Guys, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's jump back into the men's side, and let's start off with a little game called Who's Up, Who's Down. And guys, 2-0 after the opening weekend. That's as expected. Maybe the wins weren't as dominating as we thought. Brian, I'll start with you. Who's up on the men's side?
Right now I have to say who's up is Desi Rodriguez. This is a guy that came in last year. Was one of the upper freshmen that came onto this team, and this year as a sophomore has stepped up big time. Last game, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and then again with 15 points, 8 rebounds. He's putting up solid numbers right now for this Pirates team. Everybody says Isaiah Whitehead. We need Isaiah Whitehead to be putting up, and he's also up for this team right now too, averaging 18 points a game right now for this Pirates team. But if you got to give it to somebody who stepped up and wasn't expected to step up, it's Desi Rodriguez right now.
He's definitely right there, David, especially at the new position in the 3. But my guy is Ishmael Sonego.
Okay.
He's surprising everyone at Prudential, everyone here on campus. Ishmael Sonego has 19 rebounds, same number as Angel Delgado. Everyone thought Angel was going to be spectacular, which he has been, mind you, but Ishmael Sonego has really stepped up. He's the perfect 1-2 punch with Angel Delgado for any opponent.
I agree with you. If I were to pick a who's up, I would definitely pick Ish. He's had a definitely unpredicted start of the season. No one could have seen this coming.
No.
Brian, I'll jump back to you. Who's down on the men's side?
I can't say one person in particular about who's down, but I have to say overall, you have to say in the first game, it's the free throws and the turnovers. Atrocious.
Right.
When you're going into halftime in the first half and you're in the double bonus and you can't take care of business, and you go into halftime and you give up 11 turnovers, and then the first game, and you give up 20 in total, and then you go into the next game, and then you have a total of, what is it right here? I believe it says 23 turnovers in the next game. How do you expect to hold the ball? Now, Kevin Willard did come out and say, we're going to change something, and they came out the next game, and they shot over 80% from the free throw line in the second game against Wagner, which is fantastic. But this is a team, if you want to go somewhere right now, you can't have plus 20 plus turnovers a game.
I agree. Louis?
No. I hate to pick on a guy. We never want to do that with our fellow athletes. But I would have to say Veer Singh. And the only reason why I say this, I know he's injured.
Sir, man, give him a break.
I will give him a break. But I know I'm not the only one. People had some hope for Veer Singh. He was going to challenge Desi at that 3 spot, like you said. He was going to be that 3-point shooter, extend the floor. Mind him, he's hurting with his wrist. He holds it, not even in the post-game handshakes does he use his right hand. So no points after 2 games. He doesn't play only 1 minute, 2 minutes. He plays more than 10 minutes a game. So I would have to say that's the only down because I know he's feeling down. He wants to step up. I have confidence in him. Whenever he's 100%, he will show up and challenge Desi and whoever else to more playing time.
I can agree with that. If you're out there and you're playing, you're expected to contribute, so hopefully he'll be able to turn it around soon. Bryant?
No, I can't agree with that at all. I can't agree that Veer Singh is the most down player in this team right now.
Who would you say that? Who, if you had to choose one guy?
I can't say one guy because it's overall turnovers, but you can't blame a guy who is a shooter and has having a wrist problem with the shooting hand, and he's a freshman. He comes into the first game, right? Walks in, they take him off the bench. What does he do? He takes one shot, misses. Okay, he only had one attempt the whole game. Okay. Comes in the next game, has a couple attempts. This guy's going out there because he's pushing for this team. He's
Give him
putting
all
his
the credit,
all in
all
right
the
now.
credit in the world.
But you can't. It's 2 games in. You can't say he's down that much because right now he's playing injured. I can't.
I mean, they sat out Dalton Saw for the first game. Why couldn't Coach Willard just say, "Hey, he's not shooting well"? Maybe
they're playing the walk-on. They're playing the walk-on.
Mike Dowdy Jr. Respect to him, freshman year friend right there. I got to shout out to Mike Dowdy real quick. But just saying, then if you had to choose one guy, I mean, who would it be? Nezi? I mean, he plays as many minutes. He actually has some points at least. He has some rebounds. So if you're playing, you gotta show something. Right?
I'm nitpicking here, and I don't know if I should be. It's early on in the season. Guys are a little rusty, but 10-point win over Wagner. I kind of thought it'd be a little more separation there. No.
Yeah.
No, you're right, and yet you also have to take into consideration that we don't know what's going on with Kadeen right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, if you watch him on the court, there's obviously something around his ankle, and that's obvious. And then we don't know. Right now, we know that Derek Gordon's struggling with a bad ankle himself. He's coming off the bench. He's pushing hard minutes right now. But what can you really expect out of Derek Gordon with this team right now? Because he's coming off. He's giving you great minutes, but you can't expect him to push that much. With this Pirates team, I just can't blame one person. So I know Wagner went only by 10 points, but they did come back pretty close at the end.
Let's jump over to the women's side now in a celebratory opening weekend for them. Historic season for the Pirates last year, winning the Big East outright in the regular season, going to the NCAA tournament. A lot is up for this team right now, but in particular, Lewis, I'll start with you. Who's up for the Pirates?
For me, I mean, we had 4 fantastic players last year. We have 4 fantastic players this year again. Mm-hmm. But for me, if I had to choose one player, Tiffany Jones. Tiffany Jones, above 500 on the three-point line. She's second in the team for scoring, obviously behind Tabitha Richardson-Smith. She's a force in the defense and on the offense down in the post. She's having fun. You can see her having fun out there on the court. She's a great leader already. That's my person.
Right.
I have to say Alicia Powell. Okay. Alicia Powell has coming off a transfer year. She's come out on a surge right now for this Pirates team. I got to talk to Coach Bozzella a little bit, and he explained to me how important she is to this team right now, how important she is defensively, how she's bringing energy. She's like a little electric bolt right off the sideline. And she's not even average. She's averaging 17. She had 17 points the last game, and she scored 16 of them in the second half. She's averaging more than 5 assists per game right now. I have to say she's the biggest up for that team right now because we expected Tiffany Jones to come off like this. We saw her last year towards the end of the year on fire.
Absolutely.
But for Alicia Powell to come out of nowhere this year, that's spectacular for this team.
And it's a close one. Alicia Powell and Shakina Richardson, they both have been so helpful for this team because no one really knew how they were going to react to playing for the first time for both of them in Walsh, and they've stepped up to the plate.
Real quick, guys, and Brian, I'll start with you. Who's down on this team, if there is a down?
I can't say there's a down for
You
this
can't
team
give
at
it down on the women's or the men's side,
I
Brian.
can't, and you know why you can't give it down? Because with the revenge win against
too
Rutgers,
nice.
Tony Bozzella had his 50th win in Seton Hall history, which is the quickest ever for Seton Hall coach ever in history. And then let's give some respect to the fans out there. 1,628 fans in attendance at that Rutgers game. It was
loud.
Lit
It was
at
loud.
that game, the last game. So how could you really say anything bad about that Seton Hall women's basketball team? They're on fire right now, and I'm seeing big things for this team this year.
Dave, I hate to
Lewis,
say
can you help me out here?
I hate to say it, but I agree with my friend here. They're plus 32 margin for victories against, I mean, these aren't silly teams, guys. This is Bryant, NEC champion last year, and Rutgers. I mean, enough said right there. This team is legit. This team is scary. And some players, they might not be pretty on the stat line, but they still contribute, whether on defense, offense, something, support on the bench. It doesn't matter. This team is a unit. I would not want to be a team facing Seton Hall, especially in Walsh Gymnasium.
All right, well, I can dig it. There's, better to have nobody on the down than
Exactly.
than more people. From here, the women will take on St. Joe's, as we mentioned, on Saturday, November 21st at 2 p.m. And now we'll send it out to our very own Anuar Zidan, who caught up with some Pirates to preview their matchup with St. Joseph's. Anwar?
Thank you, David. We're right here with Tabitha Richardson-Smith. Can you please tell us what it feels to beat Princeton after an unbeaten season?
I mean, it feels great. I played there my sophomore year in the WNIT, and I mean, I know that Princeton comes to play. They have excellent girls, the ladies that can shoot the ball from anywhere. And I'm more proud of my team, just staying together through diversity. You know, when people have fouls, I had 4 fouls myself. People fouled out. We all stuck together and came up with the win.
That's amazing. And can you please tell us what are you guys looking forward for the St. Joe's game?
We're looking forward to another win, of course, but we're looking to go out there and play how we know how to play Seton Hall basketball. And more importantly, have fun. Like, we have fun, like, you know, through ups and downs. It was some bad calls on us. We stuck with it and played through it.
Okay. Thank you very much. We'll go back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Anwar. Okay, guys, let's jump back to the men's side. And the men, as we know, are taking part in the Gildan-Charleston Classic down in Charleston, South Carolina this weekend. They played Long Beach State on Thursday, and with a win, they'll take on the winner of the Virginia-Bradley game. With a loss, they'll take on the loser in that game. But above all, whoever we play, and I'll start with you, Bryant, what are you looking forward to seeing the most out of this Pirates team?
Out of this Pirates team, I'm looking forward to seeing them take care of turnovers. If you can eliminate turnovers right now, then you have a fantastic chance of pushing forward in this tournament. And sticking with free throws. They came out in the second game. Willward said, we're going to make a change. They came out. They made a change. He made a joke saying, I'm the greatest coach ever. He was joking around in the interview. But coming out, making a change, fix the turnovers, keep doing well on the free throws like they did in the second game. I'm seeing big things for this Pirates team.
Lewis?
Yeah, if Angel can see that ball go through the net in the first attempts of his free throws, he's unstoppable on the free throw line. He will easily be over 80%. What I'm looking for is this team to actually perform, keep the momentum. Nothing against those 2 previous teams, but this tournament has some pretty tough contenders to win the tournament, not just Virginia, not just anyone else on the other side of the bracket. So let's see if this team can actually step up, close out games midway through the second half, not count on those free throws or to slow the game down from Derek Gordon. And we love how Angel plays. He's been great. He was never down, but he was never up. So what I'm saying is, Angel, get to that form again, play more games, more reps, see if we can get to that form that he was last year.
Well, it's a great test for the Pirates in this Charleston Classic, a very tough non-conference schedule. But above everything, hoops are back. It's a great feeling here in South Orange. Really excited on both the men's and women's side. That's all we've got for you tonight. For Bryant McInerney and Louis Olvera, I'm David Heim. Have a great night, everyone.